Oh, oh, my guitar. Whoops. Frick. That's kind of far away. There we go. Hello! I decided I'm going to sit down and make a video at midnight because I just realized that it is almost my channel's birthday. By the time this goes up, it's probably gonna be my channel's birthday, which is on November 18th. Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't normally do these types of videos because I never really like making a script. Also, too, I think my neck is getting fatter because I'm having a hard time breathing. I've never really made a video like this, kind of explaining the history of my channel, or, you know, like a well, I know I made a Thanksgiving video. I made a song. And we'll say thanks for giving us your land. But I've never really made a video talking about what it is that I'm about to talk about. I know like a lot of people wanted me to do like a draw my life type of video, but I don't really want to do a speed drawing of my life, so I figured instead what I'll do is I'll talk about my life and hopefully this video becomes entertaining. With all seriousness though, I just thought I'd give like a brief history of my channel, seeing as how it is, I think like 11 years old now. Man, that's crazy. It's over a decade old. I wanna die. I think that it's important for me to also reflect on things like this, just because it's not something that I think about every day, and YouTube has been a big part of my life for, well, over a decade. So I thought maybe I'd go back and I'd look to see what I could have done differently, because when I really look back at it, I think that if I had just followed through with the plan that I originally had, there might have been a good chance that I could have gotten a little bit more of a virality, is that even a word? I would have gotten a little more viral and I would have had a bigger fan base and I would have had a lot of things, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, too bad. Let's take a look. On November 18th, 2008, I uploaded my first video, which was me doing a parody of Jason Mraz's I'm Yours for my friend Jared at Manoa Valley Theater. This was an awkward phase where I had the Justin Bieber haircut, meaning I didn't want to get a haircut because I didn't like getting my haircut and I thought I looked awkward anyway with short hair. This video was one of the first videos I ever uploaded. I actually uploaded another video. I don't know where it is. If I do have it, it's right here. If not, then use your imagination. It's me doing sign language or something like that. I don't know. Over the next couple of months, I found the joy of parody and I started writing a bunch of them. I believe that the very next day I uploaded my parody of I Kissed a Girl, quote parentheses, I didn't like it, and I also did what was known as my stalker song, Hey There Daniela. Very much similar to Hey There Delilah, but Delilah did not rhyme with umbrella, which was another parody that I did of Rihanna's Umbrella. So Daniela and Umbrella rhymed, and I wanted to tie it full circle like all comedians do when you take, you know, things like that. And you basically have a callback is what they call it. This is why I don't do storytime videos, because I have no idea how I'm explaining things, and every time when I watch this back, I have to make sure I edit it in a way that actually makes sense. But things started progressing pretty fast for me on YouTube. At this time, YouTube was a very small community. There weren't a lot of people making videos on there, and having about maybe like 4,000 to 5,000 views per video was actually kind of a lot back then. It would be the equivalent of having maybe like 300,000 views now. It's not a whole lot, you know, you're not getting millions of views, but to have that much was, at the time, was pretty impressive. Even videos that didn't do quite as well still got a couple thousand views per video, which again isn't that bad considering that most of the people found my videos through parodies. I eventually was invited to perform and open for Amy Anderson, who had a Comedy Central special, I think. I didn't really know who she was at the time, but she was cool. It was for an event called Laughs for Lions, and from my remembrance of it, it's one of those things where people who go out and do charity work, they get entertained by comedians and other entertainers and all that, and I just so happened to have been one that was picked because I would go to open mics every single week and I'd perform for people, and eventually somebody found me and asked me if I wanted to do this thing called Laughs for Lions, and that's how that happened. Shortly after that, I met somebody who would kind of become my manager, and he helped me get onto a TV series called Entertain Me.
And welcoming to the stage, we have a singer and we have a comedian. In fact, he's a singing comedian. and he's going to do a parody for you right now. Let's hear it for Grant Uchida.
Thank you. Unfortunately, it only lasted for about one season, and it was only aired locally in Hawaii. But within the year that I had started this musical comedy journey of mine, I had gotten to open for somebody who had already been performing on Comedy Central, which at the time was my dream job, to be on Comedy Central with my own Comedy Central special. And I also was able to be on TV, which, according to my manager at the time, he wasn't really my manager, he just said he was. According to him, he said that I had the most amount of calls. I guess people call in and tell them who they like the most. I had the most amount of calls over everybody else who performed. This was when I started to realize that I had something kind of unique. I mean, let's be honest, I had my inspiration from people like Bo Burnham, Stephen Lynch, and Weird Al Yankovic. In fact, those three together at the time, combined together, created me. Minus the red shirt and bow tie, because I hadn't really gotten to that point where that was my outfit. That's another thing too. My outfit has not always been a red shirt and bow tie. It actually was a red shirt that said "Hire Me" that I bought from American Eagle for like 12 bucks. Eventually, I figured out that wearing a red shirt and bow tie was kind of a little more of my iconic look. I didn't always wear jeans. I wore like brown pinstripe pants from Goodwill. I think at one point I had like a yellow bow tie. My shirt turned green at once. I didn't really like that. But after a while, I started to compile what became the signature outfit. I now have 7 red shirts and about 4 bow ties. The red pair of Converse that I wear with my outfit is about 10 years old. Fun fact, my friends Eric and Sarah got that for me for Christmas, and they kind of cheaped out on my Christmas gift, meaning that Eric took the left shoe, Sarah took the right shoe, and they both gave me one side. That way they didn't have to spend more money on me for Christmas. I love my friends. I think right now we're on year 2 or 3. Around this time, I really was looking for other people to collaborate with, so I would make videos with some other friends. One of them being my friend Patrick. He played Santa in my very first ever Christmas music video.
I was running late for work today when I saw a man hitchhiking on the highway. Seems that he had crashed his sleigh, 7 reindeers dead and 2 of them got away. I don't know what made me decide to pull off to the side to give him a ride, but he pointed a gun at my head and said, "Drive right now or you're gonna be dead."
I believe that around 2012 was when YouTube started changing. And by changing, it more or less the people realized that you can get more views, not necessarily if you have talent, but if you have better camera equipment. At this point, I realized that sitting in my room playing guitar for a bunch of people wasn't really gonna cut it anymore. I needed to have another big music video. I feel like this was the pivotal moment to where my channel completely lost all momentum. Like I said before, Bo Burnham was a big inspiration for me, and around this time I started to notice his decline on YouTube. I wanted to really make something that was amazing and hopefully in one way or another try to reach out to him. Not necessarily for anything more than for him to acknowledge me. That's when I made my random rap, aka the Bo Burnham Medley Tribute.
I'm an Asian barista with a dirty walk. I spit lyrics in your Java, make your coffee talk. You know I hate my barbershop, cause I don't like to pay. And I don't have a hair to take over anyway. So people tell me every day, Bo is awesome, I'm okay. Ask Daniela, I'll just say, oh no. So I'll try again, and maybe then she might give in. No, oh no, 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 no. You don't wanna mess with me, I'll make.
This video took 9 months to make. Like, a baby could have been born within that time. The thing was, I went from 0 to 60 way too fast with this. And getting somebody to help me produce the song, which cost me like 50 bucks, I think. It was, he did it pretty cheaply. I don't know if you can hear that, but my mini fridge is making noise. At this point, I had a team of people. Ironically, I filmed in Ironically, I filmed in Hawaiian Brian's, which is the place that entertained me, that TV series that I was on. They allowed me to film my music video in there. So that was cool. We didn't get to film all of it one time around, so we kept coming back, and I think by like the 4th or 5th time we saw the manager of that place, and he was like looking at us like, come on, what are you doing here? So I don't go in there anymore. It was actually one of the best experiences, even though it killed my momentum on my YouTube channel. It definitely did teach me a lot. It gave me an appreciation for filmmaking. But after realizing all that work that went into that didn't quite pay off, I did feel a little discouraged, and I think that if I had just gone back to my old style of setting up a camera, playing music in front of it, and eventually building a fan base that way, I decided to go on a little road trip of content. I was still trying to make another music video, but of course that takes time, and so while that music video was being made, and it took, I think, about maybe almost another year to make another music video, I think I only made about 5 or 6 videos within the time span of my Bo Burnham tribute parody to LD Shadow Lady Teleport My Way.
But oh, LD Shadow Lady, wouldn't it be crazy if we could trade shadows for a day? I would let you craft my mind, and then maybe I would find exactly the right words I need to say to make you teleport my way.
I started to make other weird content. I made This and That with Grant and Pat, which was basically me making fun of my friend Pat because he was fat. One of them's skinny and the other is fat. It's This and That with Grant and Pat. I'm not fat! Thanks, Pat, for allowing me to do that. And then I also started a series called Blame It on the Writers, which was me trying to do movie reviews, only to find out that I wasn't good at them, and it actually required more editing than my previous sit down in front of the camera unedited videos. I think that this was when I started to realize that working with other people kind of slowed me down a lot. And I don't blame them, because they didn't have the same passion and drive to do what it is that I was doing. We weren't getting paid at this point. None of this was monetized. All of this was just for fun and wanting to build a career to be on Comedy Central at some point in my life. My content then took another change and went into speed drawings, because I thought that maybe that would be more fun to do. That actually taught me how to edit. Figuring out how to time the dialogue with how fast to speed up the drawing, it definitely gave me a better understanding of video editing. Oh yeah, and then the Harlem Shake video, that sucked. Around March of 2013 was when I made my first convention vlog. Or, I don't really know what you would call it. Yeah, it was a vlog. So, I was vlogging since 2013. Wow, I didn't even realize that. Back then, we didn't have no fancy time lapses or drone shots like Casey Neistat. At this point, all of my content was getting jumbled up together. Like, I made con vlogs, I did skateboarding vlogs, made speed drawing videos. I did all these things, and my channel just kind of lost its identity. Oh, Jesus. I was still making music at the time, but it wasn't as consistent as it used to be. And I think that a lot of the subscribers that came over from that started realizing that it was becoming a bipolar disorder mess of content. And so this is when my views started declining even more, which also made me feel insecure. So I tried even harder to make content that was entertaining, and I kept messing up and making other things. I made, like, I uploaded a video of a bird climbing on the side of a wall because I don't know. I made videos about babysitting. I made videos about Sai from Gundam Style. Tried quitting a couple of times, and that didn't work. Around July 2nd of 2013, I uploaded one of my first skateboarding vlogs. This was with my friend Rayton. We ended up doing skateboarding videos, and actually was more or less the thing that taught me how to vlog, because I had to build up a storyline based off of what we were gonna do. And it was funny because every time me and Rayton would go skateboarding somewhere, something bad would happen. First episode, we could not find a skate park. We went on a hike instead. Second episode, Rayton's skateboard broke. Third episode, it started pouring on us before we even got to skating. It was just so coincidental that all these things were happening, but it also taught me a very important thing, and that's basically coming up with a good story that leaves you wanting more. I look back at these vlogs and I realized that they were like 3 minutes long, and I thought that that was way too long for a video. And now I'm making like 30-minute videos, Jesus Christ. Eventually, after time passed, I started doing more cosplay things because I realized that there was a community there and that they really enjoyed my videos. I went to a KawaiiCon Beach Day, and then I did Beach Day 2, and then I did Manoa Otaku Experience, and then I had Anime Day, and then I met up with a bunch of other people. That was pretty much what my channel was, just random con videos at this point. How did I go from making parodies to this? I have no idea. But as time went on, I started to realize that cosplay related videos were actually a lot more fun for me to make than all the other stuff like the skateboarding vlogs and all of that, mainly because I had people around me and it felt like a community I wanted to be a part of. Then my channel took a sidestep and I did a cooking show with this dumbass, and it just didn't end well.
Alright, so
I hope he dies. When I made convention videos, they weren't as amazing as they were today. They were literally just me filming randomly what happened. And I think that that also built up my confidence in being able to film out in public. So a lot of what I can do now, and a lot of how I don't really care if I'm filming in public and if people see me and think I'm weird, a lot of that stemmed from being in a safe environment and doing that with people who kind of want to be in your film. That definitely gave me the confidence to step outside of the conventions and kind of film at my own risk. The more I look at all the videos I've made in the past, I realize I haven't made that many. I've often felt that I was held back a lot by what I was doing, not to say it's because of other people, but just the wrong people. I think that's why I like making cosplay music videos, is because everybody is there with a common goal. They want to be seen, they want to be entertaining, they want to show off their costume to the world, and my channel was a way for them to get that. I also had a series called Grant's Rants where I tried to be like JonTron. That was very difficult for me to do, mainly because I didn't realize how much effort goes into making a video like that. From 2014 to about 2016, not much really happened. I was just going to conventions, making videos. My channel was steadily growing, but no exceedingly high spikes as I've seen in the past with the LD Shadow Lady video or with any of my parodies for that matter. On December 22nd of 2016, I uploaded a video called Hurt, my last video. I had just gotten tired of making videos. More or less, it just got to the point of me trying to reinvent myself, and I couldn't quite figure out what it was that I needed to do to put the pieces together. So I ended up deciding, you know what, I'm gonna go back into doing music one more time, and that was going to be it. And I thought that at that point, this is it. I'm not gonna make any videos anymore. I'm gonna try to focus on something else. I'm going to try and expand and see what else my life has in store. That lasted for about a month. See, because there's one thing I did not take into consideration. You see, I had been doing YouTube for so long, and I loved the idea of making content, that I actually got more depressed when I didn't do that. So on January 1st, 2017, I had the bright idea that I was going to start a daily vlogging channel. Mainly because that's what Casey Neistat did, and everybody was following in his footsteps. Thus begins the inevitable journey that I think a lot of YouTubers who have lost their way start, and that is make as much content as humanly possible. Doesn't matter if that's what you were known for, doesn't matter if it's good, you pump out daily content that's 10 minutes long. That lasted for about 2 weeks. An old friend of mine had reconnected with me and had told me to go back onto this site called YouNow. Those of you, oh shoot, I forgot to mention that. Anyways, I did live streaming before live streaming was a thing on a beta site, and I didn't like it, so I left. And then somebody had told me come back to live streaming on the site called YouNow, which didn't copy YouTube's name at all, but you know, this icon is red, this icon is green. It was definitely a good and bad point in my life. Live streaming gave me the freedom to get back into music. I could actually do my vlogs in real time. I would go skateboarding around the neighborhood, showing people sunsets from my live stream on my phone. And I thought that was really cool. That was really fun to do. The only problem is I was not free. I thought that I had the ability to do all of this without having to worry about having, you know, like a regular steady income, because through live stream you can get paid a lot quicker than with YouTube, and you get paid through tips. My nose hair is bothering me. The flaw in that logic is you have to constantly entertain, whereas with video editing I can take breaks. I feel bad when I have to use the bathroom and I leave my audience alone for like 5 minutes. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like I don't want to waste people's time. The thing was, I would live stream for about 8 hours a day. 4 hours in the middle of the day, because that's the time that the mainland people get off work. A couple hours from about 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. because that's when people in Hawaii get off. And then I would end up live streaming sometimes in the middle of the night because I had UK fans. My sleep schedule was all over the place. And so was my mind. I remember I lost my voice a month into live streaming. I had a total of 9 months that I had done live streaming. Of that entirety, I think I took a grand total of 3 weeks of collective time spaced out throughout those 9 months of no streaming a day. That was definitely a very stressful part of my life, and it left me with 7 months of depression. Yay! This is why whenever somebody asks me if I want to live stream on Twitch, I say no, because I don't want to have to deal with that again. Through that experience, I've learned that I am much more happier creating content and editing it and molding it into something that I can call my own. Something that allows me to do stuff like this, have a bunch of things fly around the screen, and call it a day. It did, however, help me figure out a little more of what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was make content on YouTube. Looking back on all of this, I've kind of realized that there was a lot of things that I should have done differently because I wouldn't have lost some friendships in the process. I had to cut ties with a lot of people because I became a workaholic and I would only work on YouTube videos. In fact, if you asked any of my good friends, you would know that I was horrible at hanging out with them, because while everyone was going out partying on a Saturday night, I was at home making videos for people to watch. I think that sometimes when I look into the cosplay community, all of this kind of brings me to the present day, which is now. And while you're watching this video, whether it be a year after this video was published, or if you're watching it on the premiere of the 18th, 2019, November, and I did that all backwards. I guess you're probably wondering, why did I spend X amount of time watching a video about you recapping your channel? I think it's because Thanksgiving is coming up, and I never really thought about what I was thankful for when it comes to creating content on YouTube. I'm thankful that it gave me a legacy. It gave me a timeline, it gave me an archive of the things I've created throughout the years. Over a decade of content that I have made, that most of it I can be proud of. It also helped me learn a lot about myself. Every little thing that I've done on YouTube kind of taught me something in some way. And maybe my life just would have been completely different if I never made content. But would I be happy? I always joke to my friends saying, you know, 10 years of doing YouTube and I could have been a doctor by now, and I probably would be making more money. But would I be happy doing that? Probably not. I'd probably want to give brain surgery to myself. And by brain surgery, I mean lobotomy. Oh, shoot, I forgot to talk about TanaCon. Okay, that was something that was really big. How did I forget TanaCon?